Okay, and we're live once again on another Tuesday, and I have Kevin D. Turner in the house. Ask me anything. I'm going to ask him what that D stands for because I think it's Dallas, but we'll see. We'll see. So, Kevin, before we get started, because man, oh man, we got a lot to pack into 30 minutes today. First of all, do a quick little who I am, what I do, so everybody knows you, and then we'll get stuck right in.
Fantastic. And Gillian, again, thank you for having me. I love joining you because you've got such great energy and such insights to things. That's fantastic. And I learned from you. That's one of the best things, is to find people, right, that you learn from, that you can also help them with things, hopefully. And it's all kind of part of that collaboration that I think just makes a better world, a better place, definitely a better LinkedIn. And so that's why I always get excited when you ever say, hey, you want to do something? I'm like, absolutely. So we're live, and I love that. I do branding, both organizational and personal branding, and really kind of help people get that word out. You know, who are they? What do they do? How do they solve issues for others? And then how do you bring that across succinctly in text, in visual, in the things that you do, your activities? So how do you pull all that together so that it really kind of creates that brand image? And, brand is a funny thing. It is basically your reputation, right?
Yep.
It's there already. You don't really create a brand. You can refine a brand, right? Or if people have the brand wrong, you can adjust the message, right? But it's already there. And so it is really what people say when you're not in the room. That's your brand. That's your personal brand or your organizational brand. If you don't get control of it, somebody else will. Somebody else will interpret it. And when people interpret things, it's usually not to your benefit. So that's why it's really important to get that kind of branding going, that personal branding. And I see so much going on out there, people getting so involved in social media, and they're falling into a trap that I call personal blanding. And that is when you don't do things all the way. Right? You've got a picture and in the background, somebody's arm over your shoulder with a martini, right? Or you leave the 3 shades of gray background banner, the default, which, visuals, we process 60,000 times faster than text. So you're telling something about you, and that is, I accept the defaults. I don't get LinkedIn. I don't play social media. When you do things like that, that's not your brand.
No.
And you're doing it with such passion when you do it with visuals, especially. So those are the kind of things that I love to kind of jump into and help people get rid of personal blanding into personal branding. And it is a passion of mine, has been for many years. So that's what I do. And part of that is just sharing knowledge.
And you're so knowledgeable. You're so knowledgeable.
Thank you.
And I kind of see you as like Kevin with the binoculars, always looking for the next ship coming in, the next new LinkedIn feature. And you found one in the wild today. And we're so excited about it. So explain what it is, and then we actually even have like a little demo. Meanwhile, everybody who's watching, this is Ask Me Anything. Last time Kevin was on, we had so many questions. We were just like, okay, we have to come back and just answer questions. So we didn't really come with an agenda, except one snuck in this morning. But in the meantime, if you have a question on personal branding or personal blanding, how not to be that milk carton guy that, like, Kevin always has that little, do you know me type of thing. If you don't want to be that guy or gal, go ahead, put your question in. We'll take questions in a minute. And in the meantime, let's talk about this new thing that's going to help us with our personal branding, Kevin.
Absolutely. And that's why I love sharing stuff like this. And it was so perfect to have an example just drop into our hands, because when people grab new features, especially on LinkedIn, and they use those new features the way they should be, right? That becomes part of their brand. They become the innovator, the sharer, the knowledge person, the person that's doing things first. All those are really good messages to bring into your brand. You don't even have to say anything. You just use those new features. You introduce people to those new features. And that's why we love to share them. So this morning we had an opportunity, and you and I did a little back and forth where we jumped into a brand new LinkedIn feature, which is basically video in messaging. Now, I don't mean a video message. That's different. That's where you send a one-way asynchronous video message. This is actually where you can set up a video conference within messaging on LinkedIn, right? And the other person can accept and go in. And right now it's a one-to-one, but they're saying it's going to be a group very soon. So really exciting. It's kind of like having your own live, but private, right? And that's what we talked about this morning. So if you want to roll that video, we can walk people through what's going on.
Absolutely. Okay, so here it is.
Okay, everybody. So we're doing a quick, fast experiment to see about this new feature with LinkedIn that you can now do a meeting. So if you click on this little camera icon, you can see Microsoft Teams and Zoom, and then here you go. You can create an instant meeting and schedule for later. So that is how you set one up. But I'm going to go ahead and just use the one that Kevin Turner sent me. So I'm clicking on that link, and now you see I'm in a preview window where I could sit and I could fuss with my hair and do my makeup and all sorts of stuff. You're going to sit here forever if you don't do something. But if you can come over here, you can see that there's the camera. You can choose which camera. So if you got a webcam, or I'm just using the Mac camera, you can do that. And then you can choose your microphone. So you could have the internal microphone, or maybe you got some sort of fancy one beside you. And look, my headline and my name is coming with me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click join, and I should see Kevin. And woohoo!
Hey.
There we go. We see Kevin. So we're
Welcome
into
to the
meeting.
latest new LinkedIn feature.
Yay! Yay! Here we
Video
are.
meetings in messaging. So I think it's really cool. It's available to us.
It's
and
awesome.
We got to play around a little bit with it before we talk today.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
what's super cool is at the bottom of the screen you see Kevin's name, you see his what do you call it? Your tagline?
Headline.
Your headline.
That's
in
the official
LinkedIn.
word from LinkedIn. I call it a tagline too.
Yep.
They call it a headline.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And even though I don't see it on my end, on my picture, Kevin says he is seeing it on his end. So that's what's
Absolutely.
really nice. That's really nice.
Now, if you try clicking that little cog on your side, if you go down towards the bottom of the screen, you see a little cog.
Yep.
Click that and then see if you see yours.
No.
Nope.
No.
Oh, well.
No.
Maybe it's only I that see it.
Yep. Clicking on that cog, the only thing it did was pull up like the settings, and then I could change my mic or my camera or something like that. But it didn't.
Okay.
It didn't do anything else. And then, but it's nice because at the very top of the your screen, it says video meeting with Kevin D. Turner. Now, did you type that, or did that just come up?
That came with the system. So I don't even see that. So it's interesting that you see something different than what I see.
Absolutely.
So I don't see that at all.
Absolutely.
And I guess whoever's initiating it maybe has the control for these titles, the headline to come in,
Yep.
which makes some sense.
Yep.
And right now it is set up so you can only do one-on-ones,
Okay.
but they're saying very soon you'll be able to do multiplex, right? Lots of people in their group ones.
Cool.
And then ultimately, we're supposed to be able to stream live from
my
Teams.
Gosh. Wow.
So since
Wow.
I have Teams Enterprise wrapped into everything else I have, I will be kind of working with that. So I think that's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
They're really bringing in a lot of components of Microsoft into LinkedIn, which of course, if you buy a company,
Yeah.
that's a good plan, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So-
You're going to see that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is really sweet. And then the one thing that we'd add is that when we came in the first time, we said, oh, maybe we should record this and show it on the live in 5 minutes. So we quickly did that. So the interesting thing was I asked Kevin, hey, do we have to do a whole new meeting again? And you said, no, you think that link is evergreen, because I came back in with the same link. So that's awesome.
At least we know for a few hours.
Yes.
Now, we might even try, you and I will try clicking on it tomorrow and see if it's still there
Yeah,
after
just-
24 hours.
Yep. See how
That
long
would
that
be
life
really
is.
neat if
Yeah.
it like stayed constant. So
Wow.
for remote offices, right? Anytime I want, I could pop in and my team might be there, kind of like a Yammer,
Yeah.
but a video Yammer.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I don't know
way
if
cool. That's way cool. Okay, well, I don't know how long our live videos can be, so let's probably end this here. Oh, you got the cat walking across. That's kind of fun.
that is my daughter's cat. She's making her cameo.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so this is way cool. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to bounce out now and I'll stop the recording and I'll see you live at the top of the hour or a few minutes first.
Very cool.
Okay.
And supposedly this also records through LinkedIn, but I haven't seen one yet. So I'll tell you if it shows up in the message box as a record.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, cool. All right,
Cool.
see you soon. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, and as we leave, we see that little message that says leaving the meeting, and it says that leaving call, this window will automatically close. So let's click the X. Are you sure you want to leave the call? Leave, and I don't know how long we're leaving, so that's kind of interesting. I'm not really sure how that works, so we'll just go ahead and end. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Who was that guy? That was very odd to hear myself talking inside our own live.
I know.
And then you're talking, and I'm almost thinking, am I supposed to answer? No, he is already doing it for me.
And this was my very first time doing a video in the middle of a live, so it's all very weird and meta, but it just kind of shows you, you're just we're just getting the technology that is coming. It's kind of blowing us up. Like there's just so much. And I think, like you said earlier, this is all part of your personal brand, is learning to harness these new features. How can you use this to your advantage? You already talked about, could this be used for constant in and out with your client anytime you want to talk? And I noticed afterwards when I left my message, and I didn't record this bit, but afterwards I noticed how many times you entered the meeting, I entered the meeting. It was like tracking us. So that was kind of interesting. And I thought it would even be kind of interesting to do an experiment and see if we copied that link and we gave it to someone else, like say, for instance, Jeff
Could
Young.
they get in? Yeah.
Could he join? So that would be a cool experiment. And I bet you
we
Jeff
have more
would
to
be
do
great on
tomorrow,
it.
don't we?
Yes, yes, yes. So we have some comments. So let's hop over to our comments. And who do we have? We have Jeff Young, who I know will do the experiment with us, because I woke up this morning and he was the first message. Oh my gosh, a new feature, meetings. And I was just like, well, how is this different than what we were already doing? And he explained. So I had you and him all at the same time. So awesome. Awesome. We love Jeff. So Jeff, you're going to experiment with us. We're going to see how we can just like bust this up. And also too, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like LinkedIn is like really, it was choppy this morning, or it's morning for me here. So sorry for everybody else in the rest of the world on a different time zone. But it feels like LinkedIn was like kind of, I don't know, maybe it was dragging because all these people are testing this feature. What do you think?
It could be. It could be. I did notice when I would go back in, each time it took a little longer to load. Yep. So they may have been getting a little more, I guess, server space allocated to make it all work. It'll be interesting to see how it rolls out and how much they allow us to use it.
It's like there's some guy in Mountain View, California going, oops, we should have thought about
it's
that.
blown up.
Hi, Claire. So we got Claire saying hello. Yay, with her little happy face. I love it. I love it. 60,000 times faster. That's incredible. I forgot. What was that in reference to? I'm like.
The way we process visuals as opposed to textual information.
Yes.
And that's why they always say a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? And on LinkedIn, that picture is there 24/7. So it's either working for you or working against you. Get your visuals right, because that's critical. And amazing how fast people will process based on visuals. And the biggest advantage is you can earn trust really quickly with your visuals if you do them right. You know, if that background banner turns out to be you fly fishing in Montana, right, or playing with your cats or your daughter's cat, right? It doesn't send the same message to an employer or your clients even they're like, well, if I can't reach Kevin, I know he's playing with his cat or he's fly fishing in Montana. Look at your visuals. Make sure that they move you forward to your goals, right? That they're telling that same story, because again, our brain is processing it that quickly, and we're already deciding whether we trust you or not, whether we like you or not, based on those visuals. So don't accept that 3 shades of gray default. Worst landing you can do to yourself on LinkedIn.
That's horrible. What do you think about those? Like, there's a couple of like default banners that you can choose. What do you think about those? Or do you think still don't? It's probably better than nothing.
It's better than nothing, but at the same time, it's like buying a suit off the rack, right? If everybody shows up with the same suit or the same dress on, we'd kind of look around and go, you want to be unique, create it, craft it. If you want your brand to be unique and not something that's packaged, cookie cut, offered to everybody in mass, then create your own. And there's a lot of great stuff out there. There's Canva, which I know you use the tool, and, somebody can go in there for free and create great banners, and it helps you with proportions. And so you don't have things hiding behind other things. It's incredible. There's no excuse anymore not to, get those visuals right.
That's true. That's true. And one I recommend to people is, if you want something just really, really quick, and I always tell this to people that have nothing, they just have the blank canvas, is I tell them, go to Pixabay and at least grab a picture that represents your industry. And then you can work into it. And, the nice thing about Canva is you can do things like you did by putting your email address and, some touches, some words, some text. But if you're just like, okay, I need to get something up in the next 5 minutes, just go to Pixabay and get a nice royalty-free graphic that represents your industry, because it's at least different in something, and it's free. It's free, and you won't get into any copyright problems. And I always tell people, do not just use Google. That could get you into trouble, copyright issues with photographs. So make sure it's royalty free. And Canva, everything in Canva is royalty free, so you're good.
Yeah. Especially as you're building your brand, and if you're an entrepreneur and you're doing that and you're borrowing pictures without permission, that stuff can come haunt you later. They can come track you down. It's real easy to do, a scan of pictures, on Google. I can take something I create and I can load it into Google, and I can find out who else is using it. And believe it or not, I found people using my graphics that way. So, it's not safe to do, and it's also not ethical, because somebody put their heart and soul into creating that. It is a piece of art in many ways, those pictures, whether it's a photograph, a finger painting, or, some really great digital stuff. It is a piece of art. Somebody put their time in it. Yeah. Pay them if you want it, or create your own.
Exactly.
That's the fair way to go.
And you can't be sued.
A part of your brand.
You can't be sued. Like, I knew somebody who had a website, and their web designer used Google Images, and they got like one of those takedowns. There's a special name for them, but they got a takedown notice, and they had to like shut their website and put in brand new images. So just who
and if you've built upon that as your brand, that doesn't work very well.
No, that's not good. Okay, so Jeff says, "Hey, you don't like my picture with the ghost hand? I'm hurt." What ghost hand? What?
It is very ghosty. I don't even see it. It's so ghosty.
We don't see it, Jeff. Explain. We don't know that comment. Okay. What's your question? What are your views on the use of emojis in the headline? Oh, good one, Kevin. What do you think about that? Emojis in your headline.
I always, first of all, I say on LinkedIn, one size doesn't fit all, right? Mm-hmm. This is about you. You've got to be you. And if emojis are you can use them. Now, there is a couple things. LinkedIn says in your name area, you can only use your name information. You're not supposed to use emojis, but it doesn't say that in the headline. So if you want to bring it into the headline, you can use them. What's great about emojis is they really get processed as blank space on the other side. Oh, so they don't interrupt the SEO value of the headline trying to figure out the emoji. So there's no emoji detail that goes out that throws them off that, I wasn't searching for happy smiley face guy. that doesn't come across. It just comes across as a blank in the SEO process inside LinkedIn. So if you like them, use them. I always say, don't use too many because it can get a little junky, right? Just like anything, excess is never good. So, use them sparingly, use the most professional ones you can find that fit you as a person. And everybody is very different, and everybody's market is different, and everybody's, I guess, audience is different. So just know who you are and how to use them.
Got it. That's great. Yay. Good question.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's cool. Does the video meeting auto caption? No. We talked about that.
Yeah, we did talk about that, and hopefully soon, right?
Yes.
And Gillian, you'd mentioned that it took LinkedIn a while to do it for live.
Yes, it did.
So,
yeah, and they're doing them now, and then hopefully everybody's seeing the captions here. And the only thing is you can't go in and correct. So my name is like forever Julian instead of Gillian or whatever LinkedIn decides to call me every day. But you can't edit them. I'm really hoping that will come to these meetings because it's probably not really a big deal to add that in. They probably just have to partner with some sort of third party. And the fact that the LinkedIn lives are captioned makes you realize that that's there. But in terms of how would you even, maybe do that on a personal meeting, that could be challenging. So yeah, that would be the next step. And Claire and I are both on the same page with coming to captions.
I think they're critical. And we talked earlier, if you are a hearing individual and you watch closed caption on the news, right, or anything else, very expensive broadcast, a lot of times they get it wrong. Mm-hmm. And we can kind of chuckle because we can hear, but we can see people who can't, they got to go with what's written. And it can be very confusing. So hopefully they do it and they do it right. And they do give you the opportunity to edit. Also, the opportunity I think is critical is to set vocabulary. Mm-hmm. So in that instance, it would be really nice if they bring it in, if you could set your spelling for your name.
Yes.
So when it comes up, this is what it is, right? And that would solve half the problems, especially when it comes to kind of jargon for industries, right? That they misinterpret often. You could set those into kind of a vocabulary list so it could pull them.
And I think that's one of the things that Subly does with their captioning on their pro plan, in that you can actually set your vocabulary. And Subly is a LinkedIn partner, so it would be nice to see if Subly is going to integrate, because that would be fantastic. That would be very good. Okay, Jeff, very minimal capabilities, no virtual background. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting to know, because that is a part of our brand is, I don't actually use a virtual background, but that's because I have curly hair and it just does not work. So unless I had a green, because I always just look like this weird mushroom or something, but a lot of people, their virtual backgrounds are a part of their brand. People are using QR codes on their virtual backgrounds, and, maybe their book, if they've got a book, and, Jeff with a Superman, like we would not know Jeff without his Superman. And that's one of the things when Jeff comes on the live, he can't use his virtual background. So that's kind of can affect. So that is a big thing that it would be nice if that is something that could be added. I wonder if there might be a difference if you actually had a bona fide green screen, but I didn't see any options for that even in the setup. Did you?
No, I did not see that, but that would be a cure-all, wouldn't it? If you could do green screen.
Yes, definitely. Okay. I was on putting cat. That was the cat walking across. Oh, that was so funny. That's classic. Oh, we've got Tina. Hi, Kevin and Gillian. Great to see you on the second live. Yes.
Hey, Tina.
Yay.
And just for clarity, I do not own a cat. I'm a dog person. That's my daughter's cat. So I am a cat sitter as of late. So, and the cat did demand a can of tuna after her cameo.
Exactly.
That's keeping her quiet right now.
I don't blame her. I don't think captions are there, Claire, and there is no camera control of any sort. The only thing that did not test was if I had changed, if there was a way to change my setting. You were full screen and I was tiny up in the corner.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a way that I could have clicked that, sort of like a Zoom, how you can have speaker and then, or gallery view, speaker view. That was one thing I didn't think to test.
I did notice in the top corner, there's it looks like 4 little boxes. It looked like kind of like the Microsoft logo, but when I clicked on that, it did put a side by side on mine.
Okay.
So we look much like this on my view.
Got it.
So I don't know if you have that control on your side, but it would make sense.
It makes sense. And I'm thinking that I did kind of see a little 4 square. So I should have clicked on that. So now,
and I apologize because you had to look at my big head the whole time.
And then I got to see the cat. So it's all
there
good.
you go.
All
True.
good. Hey, it's Sarah Clay. We love
All right,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Great to see you two chatting on my screen. Yay. It's so funny to see. It's great to see our buddies. Okay, great advice, Kevin. Don't all pitch up the same suit. Yep, absolutely. A template that is not personalized is a wasted template. You said it, Jeff. Absolutely.
Very true.
It's like
Very
you
true.
got to have that banner and, really make sure you're using your brand colors and, what is that one thing you want to walk away with. And we always tell people, make sure that you check it on a mobile too. Even if you are not a mobile user yourself, you just have to remember that I think the majority of people are using, have we flipped now? Like that would be 51%. But I think that the majority of people are using LinkedIn on a phone, and we must, even if that's not our jam, we have to be cognizant. Can you read the text? And things shift on your banner, where your head goes and stuff like that. So you just have to look all the way, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Love those emojis. Yes, because look at her little red rocket. It's
She
awesome.
does. She does.
Awesome. It's awesome. Emojis are us. Namaste. So true. So true. Great answer, Kevin D. Turner. So basically just a personal point of view. Love that it doesn't affect your SEO. Boom. Thank you. Is there anything that you could do in your headline that would affect your SEO, just so that we get
I've had some conversation with how the headline is processed. A lot of people are using up and down.
The pipe.
What we call a pipe. Yeah, or a plus or a minus. If you ever see somebody who has that in their headline, especially the minus right now, if you copy that headline and you put it in the search box, you will not get their profile.
Wow.
So it's not finding it. And it's because the pipe, the plus sign, and the minus sign are actually database functions. So anytime you're sending something into a database, whether it's a query or a load, if you put functions in there, then you can affect how they function from there forward. So I think LinkedIn is trying to adjust that because so many people have been doing it and they like the look of it. It's very, concise in some ways. What I do, and this goes back to the emojis, is I do have pipes, and I've got some pipes that are a little more creative. If you look at my profile, they look like a little screwdriver, right? My thing is the sharpest tools. And those are actually emojis. So they are not, in the sense they can't get interpreted on the other side in the database processing. So, and we've had people experiment trying them both ways, and they've noticed a better process when they don't use the actual font styled functions. So that's the only thing you shouldn't use, I think, in that sense. You can find an emoji replacement for them.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Okay, Tina, such great advice. Pick a background photo that represents your industry. It's better than the gray default picture. Now, since we have Tina here, and you do a lot of stuff with job hunters. Okay, so I always come from a small business owner perspective. So industry, what about job hunters? Would you put what do they do? Because they don't necessarily, I guess they could still do industry. Just is there any recommendations you would give for backgrounds for job seekers versus small business owners?
And think about the image itself. So if you want to be known as somebody who is good with technology, right? Find one of those great technology backgrounds.
Okay.
The things going and there's you know what the images are when you see them.
Right.
If you're in the equestrian side, have some horses running, right?
Got it.
Find that thing that really kind of sets the tone, sets the brand within your industry, that people know you are committed. But it doesn't have to be an industry piece. Now, one other thing, and I always tell this for job seekers, when you create that background banner, one thing that can be really, really beneficial is incorporate the company brand into the background banner if you're currently employed.
Okay.
The reason you do that, it lowers red flags at work, right? Mm-hmm. They don't see this beautiful updated profile and they go, Gillian is on her way out. She's doing something else. They don't see that. What they see is, Gillian is company loyal, right? That's a great piece of a brand. Every company wants company loyal employees. So guess what it also does? It makes you higher demand by the other companies. And when they send recruiters out and they're paying a recruiter anywhere from, let's say 10 to 50% of your first year's salary is their bonus for landing you, right?
Yep.
So if that's going on, one of the descriptions, and they call it a purple squirrel, right? I'm going to define this because I'm paying you so much, Gillian, to go find this person. I'm going to define it to the ridiculous degree because nobody's ever seen a purple squirrel. Now, Gillian, go bring me 3 by Wednesday, right? That's what they do. And part of that description is always, because they're spending money, they want to hurt the competition. So they say, steal them away from the competition. But if you're a job seeker and you're employed, bring that brand in. It keeps you safe at work, and it makes you higher demand from those outside resources that are searching for you. So just a little extra tip. And again, that's all processed, right? It's 60,000 times faster than text. You didn't say anything, but you got your message across.
Yep.
So that's how powerful that can be.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. I know someone who uses emojis really well, Lauren. Absolutely. And she's rocking it with those red glasses. She had red sunglasses on the other day, and it was just like, oh my gosh, it was fabulous. It was a fabulous photo. Just rocking it. Okay. Always great to see you two live. Yay. We're just getting everybody today. This is awesome.
Love it.
This is awesome. Why? Wow. Subly was ugly, subtly in the captions. Poor Subly. They must be like, and that's the thing. It's like, it's amazing what, the caption things here and what they display. It's just awful. So
I think that's truth in captioning.
Yeah.
That Subly came across as ugly.
Not good. Okay. Green screen essential for us curly girls. It is absolutely true. We look like mushrooms otherwise. It's just like so weird. And it's like a horror novel.
Some of my favorite people use their hands a lot.
Yes.
And when they don't, if you don't have curly hair and you're using your hands a lot and your fingers disappear, all of a sudden it throws me off.
We got Paula all the way from Canada. We love Paula. Yay, we love Paula. Jeff is hilarious. That is absolutely.
Absolutely. And an incredible guy.
Hello, Gillian and Kevin. You guys are great. Oh, it's so awesome to have Paula in here. Oh, we just love her. Okay.
There's a person who understands visual fully.
Oh, Paula. Oh my God.
Not only textual, but visual. She gets it as well, just like you do. She gets that stuff.
Yep. And like her videos are just like, they draw you in. They're so visual. She's always got something so cool going on. And they just so go with all her poetry. Like, I'm a big fangirl of Paula. Okay. I think there is an icon that will let you change the view side by side as Kevin. Yeah. So we're thinking it's that little chocolate bar, the little 4 square.
Yeah, exactly.
Chocolate bar. Gillian coined it. Go to the chocolate bar. Jeff likes chocolate. That'll work.
That's why he was attracted to that icon. Had to figure it out.
That's right. It's like a chocolate bar. It would probably be too busy now with cover video, but I wish I could use a GIF, of course, as my background. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, because you can do a video virtual background. I see. He's not talking about in the meeting. He's talking about on your background on your banner. I'm thinking, or maybe the
Or if he's
virtual
talking
guy.
about it in cover video, really all you'd have to do is capture a video of the GIF in action,
Yep.
and then it could become,
Yep.
right?
We can do this, Jeff.
There's always a workaround.
We'll talk. We can do this. We can do this. We just need to know exactly what you want, and everything's possible, because it is very easy to turn a GIF into a video. Like one click and you're done. Okay. Hello, Gillian and Kevin. I am enjoying your presentation. Interesting and very technically comfortable to watch. I think that is very important, Kevin, that, things like these meetings, people got thrown into Zoom, and a lot of people, it was a little bit of heartache for some folks, because it's like, you don't know how this is working and that is working and all sorts of different things. But this was pretty simple, and maybe simple is good, because we just never know where people are on the technology scale. So I thought it was actually very.
What I love is we both dived in without checking to see how deep it was. Right?
Yeah.
And I suggest that with a lot of this stuff, a lot of technology, jump in and try. If you goof up, you're still doing better than 95% of the other people out there. You're trying and you're moving forward, and it does have, again, a brand effect. So get in there and try it. And you don't have to use every single feature in the process. You just have to be able to say, I'm brave enough, right, to go do this and to share this. And that has a great message. So I always say, just like Gillian and I did today, dive in, then figure out how deep it is. Especially
if you don't already have any kind of, video technology, video meeting technology. So that's the one thing that we have to clarify, Kevin. You don't have to have Zoom.
No,
you don't have to
it's
have
native to LinkedIn, and you can select other options if you want, but it's native to LinkedIn. And that is a beauty, because then you don't have to go out and download any software, put anything on your computer, especially when you're at work. So this will work, through most work computers as well.
So behind firewalls and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it's a neat system.
This is going to up the coffee dates. Now people can do these virtual coffee dates literally with a link.
And there's very little planning, right? You're actually messaging them. Well, how about Wednesday at 3? Boom, and they got the link right then and there. You're not going off somewhere else and fixing it all up and sending it. And
it's
right
sitting there. It's sitting there in the meeting. And you're right, because sometimes that's the hard part. It's like, so that's very good. Very good. Okay. Thank you very much. We just love you, Paula. We love you. Okay. Paula Colo. She's the alchemist. She's the female alchemist. It's so true. Paula is a video Jedi Knight. Absolutely true. Yes, my banner. Okay. So he was clarifying. Okay. I love that, Kevin. Jump in and try things. Otherwise you'll never know. That's so true. It's like, don't be the last, the last one in. It's like, just leap in, go for it, do it, whatever.
And it's
Kevin,
interesting too. One of the most sought after skills for technology companies is to be able to explain things in a very basic way, right? That and that was, I can't remember whose comment that was earlier, but that's really a thing that, if you can master that, or at least bring that across as part of your brand, like we're doing here, we're not getting too complicated. You don't have to. The system could be complicated, right? How it works, how it's coded, all those things, but your presentation doesn't have to be. Yeah. And that's what people get. And, I love that. And I wish I remembered who did that comment, but I thought that was right on. Keep it simple. That's what we want to see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So we probably should wrap it up. It's 38 minutes, a little bit longer than normal, but this was so exciting. We just had to, we covered two horses today. We rode 2 horses and a cat today. we got it all in. Exciting. Any parting words for us, Kevin, before I hit the stop the live button? Any parting words for everybody?
I want to see y'all out there, collaborate with each other. Let's do some things. Let's make some things happen on LinkedIn, and very open to that, and hope I can help you.
Absolutely. And we will put a link to your post that had a whole PDF of how this whole thing works. So we'll link those together so that we'll do that immediately so everybody can absolutely jump in and do their own and, you know, meet with us. It would be fun.
Right. And if you've got a link wherever the video is sitting that we did, place that in there as well. Let's get that into there so other people can watch it again. And I truly appreciate the opportunity to collaborate with you, Gillian. You are a blast.
Yay.
So
it was fun. It was fun. Okay. All right. Well, bye everybody. And we'll see you again next week. Bye.
Take care.